Hey guys, this is gonna be our ethics in sport discussion. So I've decided my two topics, and I'm just gonna read them off and give you my description and everything about it. My first topic, one of them was on here. Should They're both ones that I use are on here already. Should sports with high brain injury risk exist today? Um, Talks here in the discussion board talks about MMA and stuff. I'm gonna get into the football side of it. There's a lot of, I guess, talk about you know things that major concussions can lead to, and head injuries can lead to future mental health and brain injury in football players. And there's a lot of talk, and there's been a lot of, I guess, since for I don't know how long now, but for a while now, there's been uh, different rules put in place and different things of that nature to kind of combat head injuries as much as possible. And every year, new football helmets are brought out, and new football helmets designed are tested and used and everything of that nature. Um, Now, that's combating it in a way, but it's not dealing with necessarily the issue at hand, which is, should it be should it exist at all? I feel like this sport is not going to go anywhere. Football is just not. But that there are things that I feel like we can do to lower risk of brain injury that we aren't doing yet. There is a a certain, I guess, helmet that is used for a lot of, um, in the college world. There's a lot of, I guess, helmets that are used in practice. They're like a hat that you put on top of your helmet and you strap over your helmet, and it's like just exterior padding that you have over your hard shelled helmet. And it does a couple of things. One, it helps players not use their head as much, because when you're playing football and you're going fast and you're hitting your head and stuff like that, you just go through that. You do that, and you're hearing all these sounds in your head to head, and you're just going through that motion. But when you're in practice and you have something on the outside of your head, extra padding, and when you hit that, you know you're hitting it because you're not hearing the sound that you're supposed to hit, and you're kind of moved off of that motion of I should use my head, and you're kind of realizing that I should get lower, I should use a different technique or something of that nature. It also helps in tackling and making sure that people aren't leading directly with their heads. And it also helps, just in case that does still happen, if someone leads with their head, helmet to helmet, that type of thing really doesn't affect these players as much with that hat on. For a person who has experienced 5 concussions in their lifetime playing football and playing in college, I definitely could have used that. It also helps just honestly with, if a player, a lot of times in football, if you get tackled, even if you're not hit in the head, you can easily get a head injury by falling to the ground, your head jerks, and you smack the ground. You smack the ground with your head. Those helmets do help with that too. Those hats around your actual helmet, they do help with that. They do help just give you an extra cushion, an extra, I guess, layer of protection on your head. These type of things are the only thing. I think that they're used in practice for a lot of. I know NFL teams use them, and larger colleges and colleges with a larger budget for football use them. I think that incorporating them into games could be a big help for the sport as far as their battle with I guess just this ethical issue of should they even be playing this sport? Should they be doing other things or something else to address it? When I think this was their furthest and best step so far in a long time. But moving that into the games, putting that extra layer of protection on, I think it's not being done now just because of it doesn't look as cool. There's no logo on them, so you might not, it might be a logo situation issue as far as money and contracts with sports teams. I'm not really sure, but I know that these things can be used. These things can help organizations and help the game of football battle that brain and head injury problem. For the second one, it's actually I feel like even more interesting one. Should gambling be promoted by professional sports leagues? Um, on one side, on one side, it looks and seems like it can be harmless and it can be great for the sport, as far as a new wave of money revenue coming in. Um, and that's when I first read this, I thought of that, and I was like, well, why shouldn't it be? Why would not it? Why would it not be? Um, and it's starting to more and more. You see it now, I guess, with just the pro league itself is not saying, hey, we as an NBA league or we as the NFL want you to gamble on our games, but they do it in a way where, I mean, every professional game you watch now, there will be sports books, sport betting apps to have ads on that game in the middle of that game. You will see that. So I think that's already happening. And should it be happening? Should it be promoted? The reasons against it, it's just there are a lot of unethical things that can occur. Say the NBA, take them for instance, and say like, okay, the NBA is incorporating and promoting gambling through their league. They owners could have so much money on a certain game, and playoff games could be even make a more big a deal about it, and a certain person of a certain team could be saying, hey, throw this game, or hey, if you don't win, we're gonna cut your contract, we're gonna trade you, we're gonna do certain things like this. That can cause safety, mental health, and physical harm to players, to coaching staffs, just because the one crazy fan who bet his whole life on one game lost and now has nothing to lose could go out and do something crazy. And that's just something that you have to, I guess, watch out for. But that's a number of those things can already happen. So you just have to be able to monitor that in a way that is safe and is effective for the league to be, I guess, sustainable and fair. And that's just something that would have to be, very, very much monitored by each league and by maybe an outside source hired by the league to monitor it, because, corruption is corruption, and it can get to anybody. It can get in a number of ways. So that's all I got, guys. So I can't wait to see what you guys have to say, and I'll see you next time.